you want more?
Why don't you just make 10 louder and make 10 be the top number and make that a little louder?
These go to 11.
Hey, how's it going? How are
Good.
you? All right. Well, hey, thank you for some time from your schedule to talk about the new tunes coming out.
Yeah, no worries, Ruben. Thanks very much for having me, man.
Yeah. So the new record's coming out this Friday, correct?
Yeah, November 4th. It's here.
You know, it's funny because I received the email about you guys doing interviews, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll get to it. I'll get to it. We still got time." And then all of a sudden, it's like, "Wow, we're already on, at the tail end of October," and it's like, "Wow, it's here." So, how excited are you about the new tunes?
Beyond excited. I mean, the music itself. It's been a process, and we've been with these songs, for some time. And they've been recorded and all that stuff. But just to finally release it, just to finally, the songs have been ours and ours alone, and now November 4th, it's everyone else's now. So that's good.
What's the significance behind the title? Because it's pretty epic sounding.
Well, I mean, do you think the record sounds epic and big?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think overall, I mean, it's pretty good stuff. But I mean, just the title in itself kind of grabs your attention from the get-go.
Yeah, I think that's just it though. I think the title is supposed to encompass the sound, the theme, maybe what we think we are. Like we think we're a big sounding band, and that's in part with our style and also with how we do production and mixing. But yeah, I just think the last however many years has been such a massive moment in human history and our history, at least within our little stamp on the timeline of humanity, and it was a momentous moment. So regardless of if it was positive or negative, doesn't matter. Just it was a big moment. So I think everything just lined up, and we picked a word that sounded big.
Right. I didn't even bother to look. Is that really is it a word, or is that something you guys came up with?
What, momentous?
Yeah.
I hope it's a real word.
I think it is a real word. I swear I've heard it before, but
if it's not, then I guess we're all
you better
screwed,
trademark it. Yeah, I think it is a word, actually. Yeah. But as far as the Dominion Day, I mean, you guys released that back in August, I think, or mid-August or something like that. So you guys got to jump on the promotion of this record, as most bands do, but that's gotten some excellent feedback.
Yeah. I mean, it's been a long road. I mean, yeah, I guess it was summertime and all the way through the fall here, and it's creeping up on winter. So it's been a few months at least, and the feedback we've had from those singles. I mean, Dominion Day and Beyond the Sun, and the rest of them. I mean, it's been very, very positive, and we're just glad that people are digging it.
And I think the thing about that, I like the fact that it's an actual video and not a lyric video. Because I like the fact that bands put as much music out there just to have the people out there sample it, but having a real video is always better, I think. And I like the performance piece because, again, it's kind of one of those things where as you listen to the tunes, like you said, the production, it's heavy, it's progressive, and then I watch you guys perform, and it seems like you guys make it look effortless, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we have fun doing it, and we're just glad it translates that well, I guess. I mean, if you're getting it that way, then we'll be all right with that. So that's great.
Yeah. And I think, it's kind of one of those things that I think I can't really think of any bands that produce progressive music that make it look so fun. I guess the only other band that comes to mind is Sons of Apollo. But as far as with you guys, I mean, again, the performance piece looks awesome. And it really captures you guys having fun. At least it looks like your guys are having fun. I'm sure you probably are.
Yeah. I mean, we love doing it, right? We love the whole thing, and it's just it's the music that we want to be writing and doing right now. So if we're able to perform it, record it, put it out there, and it's a true representation of who we are and us as musicians and writers, then I'm glad it translates that well.
with the songs, because I know, like you said, you referenced, all this stuff that's been going on. I'm guessing that a lot of it's like pandemic related type stuff. But in this record coming together, how long has some of these songs been in existence?
Yeah, I think like, I think ideas are always kind of demoed out or, kept in someone's back pocket for some time. I don't know to what varying degrees of time, but I know that there's been some riffs or some moments on this record that, people have had written or demoed out for some time. I mean, I guess we started really writing and figuring out this record in 2021. I know for me, like ideas that I brought forward or that, song ideas I brought forward. I mean, I'm always writing. I'm always coming up with stuff. And like just the other day, I recorded a little melody and it was like, this is Osyron idea number 64,
Yeah, right.
and who knows, maybe it'll never be used. But I know that we started really started gathering ideas and thoughts and really starting to formulate these songs and demos about a year ago, maybe. Yeah, about a year ago, give or take. And yeah, it's been a process, but it's a huge undertaking. But it's turned out great, and we couldn't be happier with the end result.
Right. Do you guys tend to be a band that revisits some of this stuff? Kind of like you said, you were demoing some ideas. Do you revisit those often, or do you just kind of go, hey, we'll tuck that away for the archives or something?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, you come up with an idea that you at that time deem to be exciting or catchy or, could work within the band or could work within the style. And then, as time moves on and our style has definitely evolved and changed over the years. And, for instance, there's a riff that's in the title track, like the song Momentous. And there's a riff in there that Bobby had written. I don't even know how long ago. He would obviously be able to tell you, but I remember going
Right.
over to his place and having some beers and him showing me all these ideas. And this was definitely before writing Momentous.
Mhm.
And it was definitely maybe a riff for a style that was from earlier, like the kind of like writing sessions from earlier albums.
Mhm.
But it's a catchy riff, it's a catchy moment, and it just found its way perfectly to fit within Momentous. So I think to kind of have a roundabout, answer to your question, I think there's some moments where you can go back and find something that you wrote and it fits perfectly within what we're doing now. And then yeah, I think that there's stuff that maybe just gets lost or will never be used, or at least right now, because it's just not fitting within our style or where we're going or what we're doing.
Okay. And are you guys planning to do another video or anything?
Uh, you know, I think for right now anyway, for the four singles that have led up to this
Mhm.
release, that's everything in the immediate future, I think. Now, if we did do something, it would be like a performance-based thing.
Right.
So if we wanted to do like cutting in some of us playing the stuff in the
Mhm.
studio, live shots, behind the scenes stuff, and kind of compile it. We did something like that for one of our singles called "The Ones Below," from the
Right.
Foundations record. So I could see that happening, and maybe like an artistic piece. Like I've wanted to
Sure.
do something kind of artistic, kind of like
Mhm.
not necessarily the bands in it. It's just kind of like
Okay.
cool shots of landscapes and shit. So
Sure.
maybe
Sure.
maybe
Something like
that.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe.
All right. And as far as touring in North America, I mean, have you guys done much of that? I'm not aware if you have or haven't done anything extensively in the
Yeah, it's
past.
it's it's all been domestic, all
Okay.
within Canada. But the goal is for 2023 to be in the States and or Europe.
Okay.
Um, and I'm pointing as if like that's the direction.
Right.
I have no idea. I mean, yeah,
Right.
sure,
Right.
Europe's that way. In fact, I think I'm pointing south. So
Right.
maybe Latino America would be kind of cool to go to
Oh,
sometime.
there. Yeah. Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
I think you guys would go well in Latin America for sure. Um,
De acuerdo
yeah.
contigo.
There you go. Now, what about would you guys go out with another band that's similar sounding to you guys, or would you guys be open to mixing it up a little bit and going out with like a thrash act or something?
You know what? I mean, at this stage in our career, at this stage in the game, it's like if anyone offers us the opportunity to hit the road and to share our stuff and to perform live, I think we'll take it. You know, I mean, barring maybe like something so far fetched out there that we're like, I don't know, or maybe we don't agree with like, you
Uh-huh.
know, maybe they're like certain type of people that are negative or
Okay.
say the wrong things.
Sure.
Maybe we wouldn't want to be associated with those people, but
Sure. Right.
I mean, we're down, we're willing, we're ready, we're hungry. That's what I think is exciting is that we're driven and we want to hit the road. So if it's a bunch of bands of different genres and styles within kind of the realm of metal
Right.
or heavy music,
Hmm.
we'll do it. I mean, I don't think we're picky. I don't think we're looking for any in particular, like a particular band or whatever. So
Right. Right. Now, you guys have been around for about a decade at least, right? So I'm guessing you guys have built quite the rep out in Canada.
yeah, I mean, I'd say it's been a long road for Bobby and Christoph, the two guitarists in the band who started Osyron.
Right.
It's been years of inactivity, being back into, coming out of hiatus, moving provinces, multiple band members. It's been a long road for those guys, and it's a true
Right.
testament and credit to them for keeping it going, keeping the band going, no matter what. So, I'd say that over the years, thanks to the internet and thanks to
Hmm.
kind of like releasing our music that way, we've just gathered a slow, steady, growing fan base based off of that. I mean, within maybe southern Alberta, where we're
Hmm.
located, we definitely have some people over the years that have been, true supporters and constant supporters. But I think over the last little while, it's been due to a steady lineup, B, music and records that are getting better and evolving, and the songwriting and production, and then C, just sticking it through and going forward. So I think it's a little bit of all those three things that have made us grow and have a steadier fan base and better
Right.
support.
Yeah. And then you guys have a couple guests on this record. One of them being Stu Block. Do you guys go way back with the guy, or how did he come involved in that?
No, I hope in like 15 years I can say, oh yeah, Stu and I go way back.
Right.
That'd be awesome. I mean, that means that we're friends, and I hope.
Right.
I mean, I hope I left a decent impression on him, and not like a fanboy
Hmm.
or like a over the top excited person. But working with Stu, for myself personally, was an absolute honor and a great experience. And then for the band, just what he recorded and put down on the song elevated the song beyond our own, you know, imagination. And then being willing to fly into Calgary, our hometown, and film the music video for the Deafening was just the icing on the cake. It just,
Right.
a true pro, a great human being. We had lots of laughs. Had a couple of beers. We traded stories and got to know each other, and the overall experience was just fantastic. So it's I hope in 15 years I can
Right.
say we go way back.
Hey, who knows? You guys might be doing shows together, right?
Well, I've crossed my fingers for that.
That would be cool. That'd be cool. So, would you describe the band as how would you describe them? I mean, I kind of say it sounds progressive, but it's a lot more than that. It's how would you describe it to somebody that hasn't heard the music before?
You know what, man? If it was just me, like just between you, me, and the fence post, and we were just shooting the shit, I'd just say badass heavy metal. But
Okay.
um, because labels is so tough, right? Especially within the
Right.
metal genre, it's like
Hmm.
there's subgenres of subgenres, and you're like, oh my god, like it's almost like I have to kind of go through like a
Right.
in-depth like Wikipedia
Sure.
search or Google
Right.
search and be like, oh, I want this kind of metal with this
Right.
and this and this. That boils it down to like two bands, and that's
Right.
that's your choice, and
Right.
so we've got symphonic elements, we've got progressive elements.
Hmm.
Um, I think vocally, I bring in like some power metal, like traditional metal,
Hmm.
metalcore,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
modern, kind of modern tones and tonalities and stuff. But I think as an overall band, we just we like to say progressive because we don't want to just be pigeonholed,
Sure.
um, into one specific thing,
Hmm.
right?
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of progressive bands that incorporate thrash and, power metal, all that stuff. So, yeah, okay.
100%.
Yeah, right. You guys did this killer metalized version of the Canadian national anthem. I was just watching the clip. I had to watch it a couple of times. I mean, I'm pretty familiar with the national anthem for Canada, just based on me watching hockey in my younger years and CFL football. So tell me about that.
Yeah, I mean, it was just something we had done a few years back now, and it was
Yeah.
before Cody, our drummer, joined the band. We were in between drummers, and we were again just pushing forward. We were coming up with ideas and things we wanted to do to keep the ball rolling and keep the band busy. And I don't know who suggested it. I can't even remember, but like, well, let's do a metal version of "O Canada." I mean, like, why wouldn't we? I mean, we're Canucks, we're proud Canadians, and um, it's a quick tune. It could be metalized. It could sound really
Hmm.
awesome, and we kind of try to find that balance between paying homage and tribute to the
Yeah,
actual
right,
song itself because it's a beautiful anthem.
right,
But also going a little over the top and being a little ridiculous ourselves because
right.
we're goofballs and we wanted to just be rah,
Yeah,
right in people's faces. So we think of it. It turned out great, and the video was fun, and it's
right.
been very positive.
Yeah. And it's weird how it just kind of lends itself for that kind of almost power metal sing along type vibe to it. So I mean it worked brilliantly. So
We're
uh
glad you think so.
yeah. So in wrapping up, I got to ask you about some stuff Canadian. And being that you're Canadian, you're the source for, the last word on these Canadian things. So first thing I was going to ask you, best Canadian TV show according to Reed Alton.
Best Canadian TV show. Well,
Yeah.
I guess you could say. Oh, I'm not one of those guys that grew up with like Degrassi and stuff. Like
Okay.
I never
Yeah.
watched that. Wasn't my thing. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So like I'm not gonna say that. The thing is like being kind of like the top hat to like the states. It's kind of
Sure.
we always have that like counter
Hmm.
thing. So it's like there's ESPN, there's TSN, and then
Yeah.
there's Mr. Rogers and Mr. Dress Up, and then
Right.
there's MTV and Much Music. Like there was always
Oh, I
kind of
love
that.
Much Music, man.
Yeah, Much is great. Yeah, Much was fantastic. Before
Yeah.
all those TV
Sure.
channels turned into
Right.
mush. Um, but if I was to just say Canadian, a lot of people are probably going to say Trailer Park Boys,
Hmm.
Warner Gas, Letterkenny, all those typical
Okay.
ones. Um, I don't know. If that's a really good question. I've never been asked that before. Um, I was always a sports guy, so I'm just gonna say like TSN,
Okay.
Sportsnet, or Hockey Night in Canada.
Oh, there you go. You can't go wrong with that, right? I mean, I think that's probably
So
the go-to. What
that's me.
about the
Yeah.
yeah, what about your best Canadian singer? Any
Oh, yeah.
genre. Any genre.
Well, Stu Block's in the top for me.
Okay.
Um, that's not just because we worked with him. I've been listening to Stu since I was like a teenager. So
Right.
I've always thought he has been absolutely incredible.
Oh yeah.
Um, you'd have to say Burton Cummings from the Guess Who,
Oh,
100%. If he wasn't Canadian and he wasn't a Prairie Boy, and maybe he was in the States or England or something, that guy would have been
right.
up there with Robert Plant, Freddie
Sure.
Mercury. I think he's that good.
Right.
Um, and if I were to throw in just an extra one, Ian Thornley is pretty freaking badass.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, that guy's voice is just incredible. And I just saw him last summer, I think it was, or something like that. And
Oh
the
nice.
guy's like pushing 50, I think, or he's
Okay.
near there.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And he just sounds still just incredible and so much power and poise and discipline and control. So I'd say like just off the top of my head, three right there, kind of varying
Okay.
degrees of genres and styles and
Sure.
eras, and
Right.
I'd say they're up there for sure.
Well, I don't know if this is going to be tougher or what, but best Canadian band that's not Rush.
Ooh, that is a good one. You know what? I'd say best Canadian band, like all time.
For you, yeah. Who you think is your all time, or who you think is the all time?
Can it be just an artist? Doesn't have to be a band.
Sure. Yeah, let's go for it.
Good. That's a lot easier then. I can name
Okay.
that up. Yeah, that's Joni Mitchell, 110%.
Okay. Nice. Okay.
Joni is queen. Joni is the best. She's the goat. She's one of the greatest songwriters and in her prime, one of the greatest singers. And she's a prairie girl. And I'll fight tooth and nail and debate anyone on that. I think she's just
Okay.
absolutely incredible.
Nice. I imagine probably a huge influence on you growing up.
Joni,
Yeah.
I'd say post like post high school.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd
Nice.
say like growing up, I was more like grunge,
Hmm.
metalcore, some weird prog, some far out there stuff. But then once I got into my 20s, it was a lot of like more like, delving into the hip. I guess the hip would be another big, that'd be probably one of the best bands.
Oh, yeah.
The hip would be Tragically Hip is
Yeah.
probably,
Tragically hip.
yeah, I love the hip. I know that they're
Right.
divisive. I know they're divisive
Sure.
amongst Canadians,
Right.
but yeah, Joni in my 20s, just songwriting choices, lyrical themes. Like I'll never try and be Joni. I'll never try and do that, but just the way she speaks. I mean, I've laughed, I've cried, I've I've been in pain, I've been in happiness listening to her music. I think she's just creme de la creme.
Nice. Well, here's another one. I got two more and then I'll cut you
Yeah,
loose. But
yeah, it's all good.
best Canadian beverage that's not like spring water or something.
Well, probably beer, I guess. I mean, yeah, I don't know, like best Canadian beverage. Yeah, I mean, like I've always liked the majority of like it's like craft beers, I guess you could say. I used to drink a lot more beer. I don't really anymore.
Hmm.
But I've always enjoyed a lot of Canadian beers for the most part. Even our like generic,
Right.
like
Molson.
yeah, like I used to drink Molson all the time, and
Right.
I mean I don't anymore, but
Right.
that's up there. But for Canadian beverages, I mean, oh man, I bet you I'm gonna like someone's gonna point something out to me like post this interview, and I'll be like, oh shit, like that
Hey,
would have been
that.
you know.
Well, I mean, I've already had a brain fart. I mean, I was asking you if momentous was a real word, and I know it is.
Oh, okay.
So
You thankfully stalling that for just a second allowed my brain to turn.
okay.
It's definitely the Caesar.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
got to be the Caesar because it's just like the greatest hangover drink of all time, and it was created. Yeah, it was invented here in Calgary like 70 years ago,
Okay.
and it's coast to coast now. And yeah, that it'd have to be the Caesar, 110%.
Wow. Nice. Well, last one. And I know that Canada has its own kind of Hershey's bar. I guess it's supposed to be creamier. I've never had it, but I have had a Cadbury crispy crunch. Which do you prefer and why?
Of what, like chocolate bars?
Yeah, the Hershey's or this Cadbury crispy crunch. Which would you prefer and why?
Um, Honestly, I'd probably go neither, man. I've always been a Mr. Big, Coffee
Okay.
Crisp, Smarties.
Okay.
What's another one? You got to go for a Butterfinger once in a while. What's another good one? Yeah, we got some great
Yeah.
chocolate bars for sure, like top notch. But yeah, or like a Big Turk. You ever had a Big Turk?
I've heard of them, but no, I have not had one of those or
Oh,
those
they're
Hershey
just
bars. Yeah, nice.
increíble, increíble.
Okay,
I love them.
something to aim for down the road if I ever make it next over to Canada. It's been a bit, but yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
where'd you go when you went to Canada?
I went to Toronto.
Oh, so you went to like
Yeah.
the most like epicenter, like
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair
I
enough.
need to go. I need to go somewhere more rural, I think.
Yeah, I mean, granted, it's so spread out in the country, but I mean, you gotta if you get the chance to come out west, you got to check out our mountains. They're just
Nice.
it's where we live. We live like the Rocky Mountains are the backdrop to our
Okay.
city, and yeah, western like Alberta, British Columbia, down to the coast. It's just some of the most stunning visuals you'd ever see.
Right. Nice. Hey man, thank you for your time. And I just thought of another question. Maybe
Dude,
you keep me talking. I keep thinking of stuff.
it's
What
all
do you
good.
think is one of the biggest misconceptions about Canadians?
That we're passive and too polite
Huh? There
because
you go.
we're polite to your face 110% because it's kind of within the culture. Um, but man, there's pricks everywhere. I don't give a shit who you are. I don't care what
Right.
what country you're from, what culture, whatever. Like you got good people, you got bad people, and then passive. It's like I could see us not being very confrontational for the most part, but I mean, our two national sports are hockey and lacrosse. I mean,
Mm.
that like you're running around, skating around with sticks
Right.
and like you're fighting and I don't know, man. I just went to the Flames Oilers game on Saturday with Bobby, one of the guitarists,
Hmm.
because he's an Oilers fan. Don't know why. He's got some issues, but anyway,
Right.
so we went to that game, and I was surrounded by a bunch of Oilers fans because we were in the nosebleeds. So
Oh, okay. Oh
yeah,
boy.
all the away fans were around me. And I don't know. There was a couple of moments where it was just like I don't know, like if I wasn't such a controlled, even keeled individual, I might just turn
Yeah.
around and just knock this guy out who's just been beaking my team for like the last
Mm.
2 hours. So I'd say the politeness, the
Right.
passiveness. Every
Yeah.
country's got good people. Every country's got bad people. You know what I
Right.
mean? We're
Yeah.
just a little bit more, just a little bit
Yeah.
more like upfront. We'll be a little bit more polite,
Right.
and then we'll close our door and we'll just let off on that person. We'll just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Right. Hey man, thank you for your time. And I look forward to seeing you guys if and when you make it down to the West Coast. I'm out in Oregon, so
Oh,
you guys will
beautiful!
probably hit. Yeah.
I'd love to come out there. Whereabouts in
Right.
Oregon?
Well, I'm about shoot, what is it, like 60 miles east of Portland? So
Okay, so
yeah.
you're not on the coast. You're not on the coast. You're
No,
more.
no. I'm on the West Coast, but not on the coast. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Right, right. Well, hey, thank you for your time. We'll plug the record, plug the band, get the video out, post links, all that stuff, and all the socials, and then get it out to the PR so then they can get it out to you.
Hey, well, I appreciate it, Ruben. Thanks very
All
much.
right.
It's been a
Thank
blast, and
you.
thanks for all the tough, interesting questions.
All right,
I
man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
Okay. Take care, and I hope to talk to you soon, man.
Yeah, you as well. Take
Right.
care.